great. Um, yeah, we're just feeling flowing forward. And so I was really delighting with what we're going to talk about for today's topic because you guys saw that when you're watching it or as you're here today, um, it's the difference between freedom from and freedom to. Um, it's these little fine-tuned adjustments as we feel and flow forward. Today we've been doing the business classes today, and we still have some other beautiful training coming up later today with our releasing and uplifting class. But something I kind of wanted to point out was people think that if they're focusing on, well, I want freedom from, that they think, well, I must be focusing on freedom. No. Consider this. If you're thinking that you need to have freedom from others, if you're thinking that you need to have freedom from overwhelm, right? Or freedom from my employer, or freedom from my circumstances, that's actually not freedom. That's fear. That's slavery. That's dissatisfied vibration. But if you have freedom to something and freedom towards something, oh, now you're right in alignment with the inner being and the you-ness of who you truly are, right? So, like, I'm so glad that I have freedom to flow with my feelings. I'm so glad that I have the freedom to acknowledge anything that comes into my experience. I'm so glad that I have the freedom to always have what I feel and feel that in the moment. And I love the freedom that I have to flow forward with my alignment. Can you guys feel the distinction? There's a very, very big difference energetically with freedom from and freedom to. So yeah, I really wanted to expand that out with you guys because I can say for my own life with everything that we've been doing in Best Life. Um, Hi Jen, happy beautiful day to you too. With everything that you are, that there's just so much freedom within our life. Um, and here's another perspective to kind of add on top of that too. When you're really focusing on the freedom of what you're allowing yourselves to now do, when you're really focusing on the freedom of who you are, when you're really focusing on the freedom of your ability to align, something else tends to happen too. And I can't say this for everybody. I'm not going to speak and make this a blanket statement, but I can say from my own personal experience, guys, as I find myself being more and more neutral on things that feel good. What I mean by that is that the energy of fanaticism starts to pass on. It starts to die away. It starts to diminish. Like there's things in my life that I love. There's things in my life that I really, really enjoy. There's things in my life that just make me feel so good. But here's what's so magical about freedom. If they were to leave tomorrow, so what? So what? I would just calibrate to something else that feels good. I would go, okay, well, what next? I was having a funny talk about it, and I don't foresee this happening, but for a long time, I used to really, really love Star Wars. But interestingly enough, I used to put my alignment in Star Wars and not myself. Well, think about that. If I put my alignment in something, say, as entertaining, because it is incredibly entertaining, as Star Wars, and tomorrow Star Wars vanishes, disappears, how would I feel? I'd feel awful because I have basically calibrated to that thing that's outside of me. And that's what freedom is, guys. Freedom is this ability to calibrate with who matters most and who will never disappoint you, which is your own connection, which is your own beautiful inner beingness. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I found for myself that as I'm tapping into that energy, I noticed myself continuing to be more and more neutral about more and more things. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but like I used to be very opinionated on certain things and very much, like, whoa, on other things. And now I've just sort of realized like none of that really matters. Like I can be really neutral on so many different things, whether it's political, sexual, preferential, food, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Different beliefs, different backgrounds, different religious beliefs. And I'm just kind of like, if that person is feeling and flowing with their alignment, that's great. Because I give them the space to be freely flowing with their alignment. I'm now also freely flowing with mine. So, yeah, Jen saying, yes, yes, align, calibrate to who you really are, or to who you really. Jen, I think you missed a word there. Oh, let's see here. Align, calibrate to who you really are, inner being, God/source. Yeah, I think there's a space missing there. But yeah, exactly. It's about calibrating to who you really are, your inner being, your God, your source. Really. just calibrate with who you are and feel and flow forward. I'll give you a fun example of this actually, guys. It was really, really fun. Um, Driving with Lyft, I always have news stories for you guys every week, whether I'm here with Janeda or by myself or in the classes that we do. Um, and it's fun translating my stories um, into English for all you beautiful Albanians out there. And Fathom and Darrett, glad you guys are so here. Love you guys so, so much. For those that are here watching and feeling and flowing with this energy, we always love having you guys here no matter what, whether it's here on Facebook or on YouTube. But I had something happen last night, which was really fun, which was I was just in such a space of appreciation. I was just in such a space of like, mm, flow and flow and flow and flow and flow and flow. And I had a variety of different people. I had a guy that worked as a security guard in a prison, and hearing his experiences. And then I talked to a girl who had flowed forward from being, in the public eye, right, and flowing forward with that. And I talked to a guy that was going through a probationary period and really flowing forward with that. And I had one of my rides say that they thought that the ride that we had had together was a very enriched experience. She said I had enriched her life. Oh man, thank you. It's not my intention. I'm just feeling and flowing with my alignment. But near the end of the night, the second to last ride, this gal popped in and she was so angry. She was so mad. She was also very much in pain. And she told me so. She said, I had a brain injury or whatever like that. And so, my body's paralyzed. And, on the right hand side or something like that. And just very calmly and very playfully, I'm like, well, I just want to make sure you're all in the car. If you're all in, let's go forward. And I'm like, how's your night? No response. Have you lived in Colorado long? No response. You know, um, and then the only thing she ever said was, turn here. No, not there, here. Now, again, if you're hearing this, what are you calibrating towards for yourself? Are you going, oof, that girl's really mean. Oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Or are you calibrating forward with your own inner being and going, okay, I appreciate the variety of this beautiful vibration that this woman is holding. I appreciate my beautiful freedom to feel and flow forward in my alignment. And here's what was so beautiful, guys. As I flowed forward to dropping her off at her destination, I'm like, have a good night. Not a word. Got out of my car, didn't slam my door, but just shut my door. And I had to laugh and go, thank you. I appreciate you so, so much. I appreciate the fact that you can feel and flow in whatever you're flowing with, just like I have the freedom to freely flow in what I flow forward with. And then guess what, guys? The very next thing that happened was I got another ride. It was the last ride I did of the evening, and I was kind of feeling that it was going to be my last ride. But here's the icing on top. The destination of where this guy lived was literally 6 minutes away from where I live. 6 minutes away from where I live. Because of course. Because think about it. If I had calibrated to that gal's vibration, what would have happened? Probably not that ride. I might have been all the way across town. I may have been all the way up in the mountains. Would it have been good pay? Yes. But would it have been something that didn't flow with my alignment? Yeah, that too. And it felt so good to just go, I'm not here to calibrate with something or someone outside of myself. I'm here to beautifully feel and flow and calibrate with my own alignment. So then, of course, the universe is like, well, here you go. Divine timing, coincidences, but not really, because there's only incidences that coincide. Here you go. Here's a ride that not only are you going to delight in the conversation with everyone, but it's literally 6 minutes away from your house. And since you've been feeling so satisfied, here's more to match that satisfied vibration. And that's really what it is, guys. We're so free. Because notice again, I didn't say, well, I want to have freedom from this lady, right? I want to have freedom to have her get out of my car. I want to be free from this woman's vibration. No, she can vibrate whatever she wants to. She's totally free to do that. But I'll tell you one thing, for me to feel stable in my own alignment is what really allows me to have the freedom for her to feel that too, for herself, while I at the same time continue to feel my freedom to feel and flow with my alignment. So I just thought I'd share it with you guys. It was such a wonderful example of everything that we're talking about with the difference between freedom from and freedom to. I'm going to read some of these comments because there's some good ones here. So Jen was saying, our alignment comes from within, not from the external circumstances that surround us. Yeah, yeah, and I love that, Jen, because she said external circumstances, guys. So we can even break this down and expand this out. That means the people around you, the circumstances around you, the events around you, the weather around you, the viruses around you. Yeah. Ooh, it's a real hot button right now. Guys, none of that stuff has your alignment. None of it. Not a person, not a book, not a guru. And I'm being very direct to let you know in this way, so that way you don't trap yourselves. Thinking that someone else has your alignment, or somebody else, or something else, or another belief, or a guru, or a book, or an audio, guess what? Not only is it going to disappoint you at some point, because that's where you're looking for your alignment, it's also slavery. It's a trap. It's a trap. Going back to my example, if I'd have let that lady's vibration affect my vibration, I'm now trapped. I'm trapped in her vibration. And I think that there's things that are happening to me instead of knowing that everything is for and from me. Right? Everything is always for and from us. Everything. So it's just something to consider as we're feeling and flowing forward. Yeah, Jen saying everything is for us if we allow it to be. Yeah, exactly. And the way we allow it to be is by acknowledging it. See, with this gal, is it my preference to have her act like, an angry jerk? No, it's not my preference. But could I acknowledge it? Yeah. I could go, okay, I appreciate that she's in that vibration, but I also know that I'm going to flow forward with this. And it happened so instantaneously, guys, that I was now okay with it, which means that I was able to just feel and flow forward. So, how beautiful is that? I mean, it really is that simple. It really is that wonderful. Right, says Tenica. Hi, Tenica. Happy beautiful day to you. Um, yeah, it's just so easy. Hi, Jenny. Happy beautiful day to you. So glad that you could be here, and yeah, it's all perfect. So glad that you're here. Jen, you had a comment. If you can pull that back up, I wanted to read that out loud too, for everyone that's watching. Yeah, thank you. The best feeling is to be aligned with who you really are. You can freely be you unconditionally. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Jen. And guys, that's what I was doing. With this gal, I was just being me unconditionally. Because I don't know her journey. And I don't need to know her journey. Because there's a lot of talk of like, well, you need to really meet people where they're at. And I'm going to say, absolutely not. I'm going to be incredibly direct on it. Absolutely not. Do not meet people where they're at. It is not your job to match the vibration of others. It is your job to feel and flow with your alignment with who you are. If people want to be the way they want to be, let them. But here's what's so magical with this. When you're feeling and flowing with your alignment, guess what else you do? You have the potential for them to feel and flow with their alignment. Because I don't know, but I would guess that after she hopped out of my car, maybe she felt a little bit more of her alignment. Maybe she was incredibly depressed and now she moved into a space of anger. And all I can say is, good. She's coming more into alignment with who she truly is. But by me feeling and flowing with my alignment, of course I was able to manifest a guy who was a stand-up comedian, manifest a gal who had a really rocky past and had now flowed forward, manifest a guy who had worked for the jail and had such a wonderful attitude about it, manifested a guy who got a DUI and was able to feel and flow forward and know that he was the one that was creating all of it, and was now in a space of really flowing forward and had really felt from his perspective like he had not only learned his lesson, but that I can make this easier on myself. Yet, you see, that all came about because of my beautiful alignment well, not only my beautiful alignment, but my own beautiful ability and freedom to feel and flow in my own alignment. So, I hope you guys can feel that energy. I hope you guys can feel that message of everything that we're sharing. I wanted to read a couple more comments here. Um, she's saying, "Oh, I'm going right now, but I am happy being here. Love the topic. Good energy. Oh, well, happy you got on when you could. So, love you, Jenny, and all perfect. Um, where is the other girl? I don't know, Jenny. Very cute. Just so you guys know, Jenny Zameri is our wonderful translator for Super Days with Super Dave on Tuesdays. And I know she's just being playful. So love you, Jenny. I'm so glad that you're here. And yeah, we'll do a new Facebook Live here soon, shortly together once again. But yeah, guys, it's really just about this understanding that it's just about feeling and flowing forward, right? Like there's nothing serious going on here, like ever. And even if you're like, well, yeah, but you don't know my life, don't need to know your life, because we always have the choice to choose. And even if there's momentum of what doesn't feel good, just acknowledge it and breathe, and then just allow yourself to feel and flow forward. Let's see here. Tenika's saying, yes, so true. Shine your own light from just being you. Oh, I felt the energy when you said that, Tenika. Brilliant. Beautiful. Yeah, because it really is all about just being the essence of who you truly are. Coming from the space of your own love and light, knowing that everyone around you comes from that same beautiful source of love and light. And for some who goes, well, yeah, but there's a lot going on, Dave. I don't know if I can necessarily believe that. That's okay. And I'm going to say, don't. I'm going to say, don't put your focus there. That may be too specific. Put your focus on what's something that you can feel good about. Put your focus, love you, Jenny. Put your focus on something that you can feel good about. Like if it's like, well, I really can't believe that everyone's coming from the same source of love and light, then don't put your focus there. I had a conversation with a girl last night and it was so brilliant because she had said something and I caught myself, right? Because there's so many human streams of consciousness out there, right? Do this, say this, you must do this, you must have this, you must be this, successful people do this, unsuccessful people do this, blah 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 blah, and they all look good and sound good. They do, and they're very logical, and they're very much like, yes, that really makes a lot of sense. But ask yourself, do those feel good? Really look at yourself and maybe even close your eyes and look inside and go, does this really feel good? And does going along with this tie in with how I predominantly feel about my life and about myself? And so the story I tied in with this was last night I was with a girl and I found this human stream of consciousness kind of kick in because she said, I wanted to go to this event, but I felt really bad. And without going into in the details, she got clarity from going to that same event the night before and just going, that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. And I said, okay, well, you flowed forward from that. And then she said, yeah, but I feel bad about going. And my first response, guys, was, well, don't feel bad. And then my second response was, oh, you know what? Sorry, that's an old habit. And I said that to her directly. I felt guided. I said, is it okay that you feel bad? And she was a little bit shocked. She said, what? I said, well, would you like to flow forward from this? And she's like, yeah, I've been loving talking with you and it's been so great. And, you've really offered some real fresh perspective. And I said, okay, do you want to just play with me on this a little bit? She said, sure. I said, okay, so here you go. Can you be okay with the fact that you feel bad? And she goes, yeah. I said, good. Is it okay that you're feeling feelings? And she said, yeah. I said, is it okay that you're feeling what you're feeling and that you're free to feel what you feel always? And she goes, yeah. I said, how do you feel now? And she giggled and she says, I feel a little bit better. I said, great. Then just continue focusing on feeling a little bit better. You don't need to figure this out. And she loved that. And her response to me, which was so cool, it was sweet. I could tell that she was coming from a genuinely sweet space. She said, man, Dave, you are super Dave. You've been my therapist and my counselor and my coach all in one, and my inspire all together. And she recommended that I do a podcast because she loved hearing my voice, and it was very thoughtful. But I could tell that in that beautiful moment right there, she felt her alignment. She totally felt her alignment. She felt the essence of who she truly was. She realized, I'm not here to impress people. I don't need to bend over backwards for people. I don't need to try to please others. I can really just go, if this is what doesn't feel good, I can be okay with this and allow myself to feel and flow forward. That's what this is, guys. So I saw some more comments. I'm going to go ahead and read a few more of these. So Jen saying, feeling just a little bit better is the path to personal alignment and empowerment. Oh, I love that, Jen. I love the way that you worded that too. Yeah, the path to personal alignment and empowerment. And that's what it is. Because that's what allows that momentum to build. That's what allows yourself to be in that space of your own love and light. That's what allows you to be in that space of your own vibrational vortex. And I'll add one more thing about this too. What's in your vibrational vortex is only what's of satisfied nature. It is only of what's of satisfied nature. Nobody can put anything in your vortex. Nobody can curse your vortex. Nobody can, oh, I better not focus on that because I don't want that in my vortex. It ain't going in your vortex. The only thing that's in your vortex, guys, is what's satisfying. All your heart's desires, everything that you've ever asked for, all the stuff that you've ever wanted, all the circumstances that you wanted. Everything in your outer circumstances that you've ever desired is in your vibrational vortex, and only that. And people go, well, why? Well, it's very simple. Because we ask for the things that we want because we feel that we'll feel better in the receiving of them. I has still, and it won't happen. I just know it won't. I've never met anyone who said, I want this thing because of all the stress it's going to give me. It just doesn't work that way. Because guess what? That's not in their vortex. And even if they try to push for that, guess what? it's not sustainable and it's not in our vortex. It's manipulating the universe. And I'm not saying any of you guys are doing this, but it's just take a look. Take a look for yourselves. If when you get something you feel bad, that's a pretty good indicator that you're not in your own alignment with who you are. You're trying to pull a fast one on the universe. You're trying to get something from the universe. And guess what? I can say I've done that and it never felt satisfying. Whether it was through begging or pleading or, just really asking, and just really, really, really putting it out there and really asserting that this is what I deserve because I'm such a manifesting, guru. And it never created satisfying things, ever. And if they were satisfying, the satisfaction was here and then gone. But guess what? When you're feeling and flowing with your alignment, not only is the satisfaction there, it's lasting. It's beautiful. It's continuous. It's sustainable. Hi, Tracy. Hello, 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 besties, she says. Hello, besties and non-besties alike. Um, Everything that's in your vortex is in that beautiful space of satisfaction. It just is. Jen saying, yes, everything in your vortex is of pure love and light. It really is, guys. Because think about it. Everything that you've ever asked for, whether it was more money, greater health, things like bigger business, maybe there's some things that you wanted, new car, new house, better wardrobe, whatever it is, maybe it was nothing of the tangible. Maybe it was just like greater happiness, greater fulfillment, uh, you know, more wonderful understanding of the awareness of who I am. Do you notice how none of those are from a space of dissatisfaction? Not a single one of them. And wherever it is in your vortex is what we're talking about here, guys. Not even my vortex. I could gladly share everything that's in my vortex, but what does that matter to you? Does that really help you tap into flow with what's in your vortex? Not really. It's fun, and it's nice to hear the examples, but feel for yourself. What feels good in your vortex? If you want to write a comment of what feels good in your vortex, you're more than welcome to, but you don't have to. Because guess what? Maybe that's not even in your vortex. Ho ho ho! Again, do you see how free we are, guys? We are so free to choose. Yeah, soak that in for a second. We're free to choose. We're free to choose what feels good. We're free to choose what we like. We're free to choose what we enjoy. And we're free to enjoy what we enjoy. And for those things that we don't enjoy, we're free to not push up against it. We're free to just flow with it. We're free to just acknowledge that's not my preference. Flow forward. I use this example a lot. I don't prefer coleslaw. But I'm also at this space now where, and I could even say, even just a couple years ago, I had more of an aversion towards it. I had more of a push towards it. Even when someone would say, do you want coleslaw? Watch this. Here's my face. No, I'm good. Thanks, though. Can you feel the push? Even though it's just happening in my face, it's like I'm still resisting it. Like, oof, coleslaw? No, why would anybody want to eat that? But again, that was years ago. I flowed forward from that now. And when people say, well, Dave, do you want coleslaw? I'm like, oh, no, thanks. No resistance. And no resistance energetically. And I'm not saying to keep a still face, but you guys can feel the difference, right? It's just about understanding like we don't need to push against these things that don't feel good. Just acknowledge them and just flow forward. And the you could say the argument that tends to happen with that is, well, yeah, but if I don't put focus and let people know what I don't want, how will I not keep getting it? Because of law of attraction. That's why. Whatever we put our attention and focus on, we get more of. And it's to really distinguish that there's a big difference here, guys, between your vibrational vortex and law of attraction. Law of attraction states that whatever you put your attention and focus on, you will get more of. It's unbiased, though. It's not your mom. It's not your dad. It's not your guru. It's not your teachers. It's not your mentors. It's not your significant other. It's not the books that you're reading. It's not anything that you've listened to. It's not the weather. It's not the government. It's not. It's not any of those things. It's you being able to calibrate and feel and flow forward with who you are, um, and the understanding that whatever we put our attention and focus on. Um, what you saying? Beautiful example, coleslaw. That's right, Jen. Yeah, yeah. It just cracks me up every time I even talk about it nowadays. Um, but that's law of attraction. The vortex is everything that's of pure love and light that you've asked for. But here's what's so awesome. There's 2 points of attraction. There's our physical point of attraction and the non-physical point of attraction. Our physical point of attraction is whatever we put our attention and focus on that we see in the world, that's what we're getting. But our non-physical point of attraction is our inner being, is our source, is our connection to God. And guess what? That point of attraction is always in the space of satisfaction. Always, always in the space of satisfaction and above. It's continuously looking forward. It's continuously calling us forward. Come this way, come this way. We have your desire. We have your desire. And the spread or the distance between that point of attraction and where you are in relation to that is how we feel. When we're in alignment, right, with our connection to a source, we feel good. We feel great. We feel fulfilled. We feel expansive. We feel expressive. We feel satisfied. Maybe we feel blissful. Maybe we feel excited. Maybe we feel joyful. But here's another thing that we feel: stable. Oh, yeah. And to the degree there's that separation, then we feel bad. And it's not because we're actually feeling bad about that. It's because we actually feel a difference than the way our inner being, God, source, the connection to who we truly are, feels it. Ooh, isn't that nice? And when we can feel and flow forward with our own beautiful alignment, and I like how I'm doing this little sign because that's really what it is. Here's inner being, here's you and your point of attraction, and when you two meet, those two beautiful points of attraction meet and we're aligned. Kind of funny that this is always talked about when we pray. Well, think about this. Praying is nothing more, especially if you're coming from a space of your own alignment, of just practicing, your desires, daydreaming and the desires of what feels good to you. And we're really that free. I want to read a few more comments here because you guys were saying some stuff. Worry is powerfully calling what we don't want to us. Yeah, exactly, Jen. Yeah, worry is powerfully calling what we want to us. What we don't want, excuse me, of what we don't want to us. And Jen saying, our feelings are our perfect guidance. Appreciate them, all of them. Yeah, because we wouldn't know what feeling good feels like, guys, if we didn't know what feeling bad feels like. We just wouldn't. So again, going back to the story with this lady, do I appreciate that's what she feels like? Yeah, totally. Because I've felt that way before. I've been angry. I've been frustrated. I've been in pain. And it's so good to know, it feels better to not be any of those emotions. It feels good to be healthy. And it feels good to be happy. And it feels good to be joyful. And it feels good to see others through their perfect eyes of source. Tenika is saying, um, you're such a natural, Dave. Oh, well, thank you. Tenika, you're a sweetheart. You're such a natural too. You're such a natural being of love and light. And everything that you do with Best Life and everything that I know that you're doing with your work, and just everything that you are. You're natural too. So let's see what she's saying here. Awesome to listen to you while you're, let's see, of your, yeah, I'm gonna say this again. Awesome to listen to you while your message, with your message, gotcha. The way you express yourself, your body language, the tone of your voice, it's all aligned. Love it. Thanks, Tenika. I appreciate that. From coming from someone who's such a natural public speaker as yourself, Tenika, I appreciate that compliment so much. And same to you. You are the queen of leveraging and the wonderful master of ceremonies. Master of connections. And I will always dub thee that from my perspective too, Tenika. So love you. Appreciate the compliment so much. Yeah, right, Jen. I agree completely, Tenika. You are so inspiring, Tenika. Yeah, I'm right there with you, and I felt inspired to read that comment. So, and that's the thing, guys. When we're feeling and flowing with our alignment, not only are we able to be in our own perfect eyes of source, but we can see everyone in their perfect eyes of source too. It just happens. Again, okay, another example is the guy who was going through the probation period, right? Because he had his license revoked and suspended, and he's flowing forward. There was no reason to point out his misalignment. He was already telling me his misalignment. So what was I pointing out? His alignment. Oh my gosh, man, I'm so glad you flowed forward from that. And I also didn't go into agreement with things that I don't agree with anymore. So I wasn't going to say, yeah, man, we all got to learn lessons, right? Like life is rough, because those were the things that he was saying. I am not in agreement with that. Those are not in alignment for me. They may be for you guys. They may not be for you guys. But for me, I was like, I can't agree with that. So guess what? I didn't. But the things that I did agree with, the things that I did feel the alignment with, I totally agreed with. Yeah, man, I totally get it. It sounds like you really are a caring person. And it sounds like you've really been flowing forward with all these things that have taken place. And it sounds like there's more to come, right? Good for you. And all I could say was, yeah, man, that's really good. And right as he hopped out of the car, because I was taking him back to the halfway house, for him to do his some would call it sentence, we'll call it his period, right? His probationary, work. There we go. That's a better way of putting it. Um, I said you should check out the rapper Chamillionaire, and he said why? I said because it sounds to me like you guys have a lot of things in common regarding music, which because he was talking about he's like I don't want to do music to make um, a lot of money for myself. I want to do music so that way I can make money to support those around me and help those around me, but also invest. And I said, well, I'm feeling inspired to share this with you. But Chamillionaire wrote a song back in the early 2000s called Black and Yellow, and now he basically is investor. That's what he does, and he's worth something close to like $300 million. And the guy was so inspired. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." Just feel and flow forward, though, guys. Like it was so good for him, and I didn't go, "Ooh, this is going to be the perfect thing to say." That's not how it came in. It was like, "Hmm, if you have time and it feels good, share this." And when he was done finishing his sentence, and right before he said bye, I said, "I feel inspired to share this with you." He's like, "What's that?" I said, "You've heard of the rapper Chamillionaire, right?" He's like, "Oh yeah, of course, man. I grew up on him." I was like, "Perfect. You were talking about wanting to really flow forward, and this might be inspiring to what you're wanting to do too. And I just feel inspired to share that with you." And he's like, "Man, I appreciate you so much, Dave." I said, "I appreciate you too." He said, "Maybe you'll give me a ride somewhere in the future." I said, "You never know, right? You never know." Alignment, guys. You just feel and flow forward with who you are. Because I know I gave some specifics there. Don't even focus on the specifics. Focus on the feeling. Focus on the feeling that, this guy was able to feel for himself. Focus on the feeling of, my ability to see him through the eyes of source. Focus on the feeling of going, wow, that's right. We're not here to agree with everything that doesn't feel good. We're here to agree with the things that we find aligning for ourselves and flow forward because we're that free to. Hey, there's a nice, we call that in comedy, a nice callback to what we were talking about before, right? What a beautiful callback from from freedom to. Let's see here. Janeda saying, life is fun, all caps. We can do only right and flowing. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think the thing too that's so awesome, Jenny, is that we're always doing right. Everything that you guys are doing right now is right. It's so right. Think about that for a second. Everything you're doing right now is so right. Everything. Everything, everything, everything. Why? Because we're always doing the best we can with what we got when we got it. And even then, right, some would say, well, maybe you shouldn't have said that to that guy. And my perspective is, it's already happened. It's done. It's over. We're always doing the best we can with what we got. And I'll say this, in the past, I would have tried to impress people. But guess what? In the past, I was always doing the best I could with what I got when I had it. But again, I flowed forward from that. Now I'm not doing that. But at the time, that's what I thought I was supposed to do. That's what felt the best to me. But as I've flowed forward, I've evolved. I've learned no, it's just about feeling and flowing with our own alignment. It's about feeling and flowing with the essence of who we are. It's about knowing that we don't need to create any freedom from anything, but just instead tap into the freedom of who we are and feeling the freedom to be who we are, feeling the freedom to be in our alignment, feeling the freedom to see others from source, feeling the freedom to relax, feeling the freedom to enjoy what feels good, feeling the freedom to let the momentum of what feels satisfying build naturally. Because we have the freedom to just choose what feels good to us. And we also have the freedom to enjoy it or to resist it. So I love you guys so, so much. This was created beautifully. And I love you guys just to the moon and back and then some. Thanks, Dave. Awesome Facebook Live. Thank you, Tenica. You're so welcome. And I love you guys so, so much. Love every one of you. I know I didn't say hi to everybody that was here, but love you guys so, so much. Just continue feeling flowing forward and feel the freedom of yourself to be you. So I love you guys so, so much. Until we speak again, this is Super Dave, Director of Training with Best Life Creation Society, signing off and saying, may you continue to live and love your best life with Best Life. Love you guys. Ciao.